Today, Professor Dr. Manoj Kumar will talk about the containerization using of the containers of the subject global logistics and the warehousing management. The table of the contents in this case is the concept of the contraction, need for contraction, self-assessment question, benefit of the contractions, self-assessment questions, type of the containers, general purpose containers, specific purpose containers, self-assessment question, disadvantage of the contractions, and the summary, keywords, case study, exercise, answer of the self-assessment question, and suggested books of the e-references. This chapter is prepared by the Dr. Manoj Kumar, and the learning objective is to explain the concept and meaning of the contraction, discuss the need for the contraction, explain the benefits and challenges of using containers in the moving cargo, outline different types of the containers used in the system, describe the disadvantage of the containerization. The practice of the carrying goods from one place to the another in the standard shapes and sizes of containers is known as the contraction. Containers are prepared in such a way that it can store almost anything in it and are used for transport of the manufactured goods in the particular. The use of the containers has enhanced carrying of the goods and products and has made distribution easier. People who are involved in the export of the goods are not required to physically visit the seaports of the sending goods. They send their goods to the inland container depot, which are also known as a container freight station, which finally sends the good to the ultimate destination. Use of the containers for most of the export goods come in place only after the enactment of the multimodal transportation of the good 1993. Packing and loading of the goods can be done either at the exporter place or at the inland container depot itself. A multimodal transportation document is issued to the exporter, which is equivalent to that of the bill of a lading document, which is required for the transportation of the good. An exporter saves a lot of time because all the customs clearance services are provided at the container depot. The overall process of the contraction entails packing goods and products in suitable containers at the place where goods are produced rather than taking to the quayside. Then the packed goods are transported through the road or rail to the port. Once they reach the port, cranes are used to load and unload containers from off the ship. The use of the traditional methods of the transporting goods with the help of the stevedores and the porters has gone obsolete after the contraction coming. This is the advantage of the contraction. With the help of the transporting goods, get obsolete after the contraction came in. The use of the container, huge quantity of goods can be moved from one place to the another more quickly. Not only this, it has also helped reduce the use of the manpower, which means only a few workers are to be paid. The time spent in the ports of the loading and unloading good is also reduced with the use of the contraction. The overall shipping firms have increased. More time is spent in building ships which can carry higher load of the container. In this chapter, you will study about the concept of the contraction, its needs and the advantage. The chapter describes the types of the containers, namely general purpose containers and the specific containers. Later on, the chapter also discusses disadvantage associated with the contraction. Concept of the contraction. Contraction is a system wherein intermodal freight is transported by using the intermodal containers of the standard size and the shape. These containers can be easily loaded, unloaded, and reloaded at the different modes of the transport without even opening it. Containers are not handled manually by the labor, but are completely mechanized. Different forms of the cranes and the forklift trucks are used to load and unload the containers. Moreover, all the containers are given unique identification number and their movement is tracked by the use of the computerized system. The system of the contraction Contraction was established long ago in the 1930s, where movement of the cargo was carried out using primitive methods in the North Atlantic coastal tract. At this point, the boxes in which goods were carried were known as van ships. The concept of the contraction gained importance in the 1955 when the Alcom Celine came up with a new idea of the shipping goods. In this method, the body of the lorry was removed from the vehicle carrying it. It was then lifted and placed onto the deck of the ship. This completely removed the manual work of the labor in the handling cargo. In 1965, metal containers were introduced which could be detached from the lorry body itself. In the same year, several ships carrying containers were moving across the Atlantic for transportation of the goods. Since containers are aware of the standard size, there were no containers on type of the containers and the ships by which it should be carried. By the year 1967, ships carrying both the loose and products in the hold and the containers in deck were used to transport cargo, which gave way to the movement of the huge number of boxes at a single point of the time. Cranes were available, which were used for loading and unloading containers. This led to a reduction of the shipping cost, as only a few workers were required in a place of the hundreds of the efficiently load and unload containers. In order to protect items in the containers, wooden cranes were used, which protected the goods from the damage. Gradually, the concept of the contraction gained importance. All the organizations involved in the shipping industry are efficiently using this system of the moving cargoes because it has helped them in the various way. Moreover, with the changes in the technology, containers and their movement are tracked at every single place from the pickup and delivery point of the destination by the use of the computer system. International container shipping process. For a better understanding of the process of the contraction in transportation and the shipping, the process chart given below explains how shipments are exported from India. The participants involved in this whole process are as follows. Importers are just a normal player. When they feel the need for the something specific, they look out for the best supplier around the world, which can provide them with the best product. Once importers identify the supplier, they place an order for the purchase. Exporters, on the other hand, are the sellers. They are the ones whom the buyers contact and ask for the supply of the goods. Banks are the third party who have a very important role to play in the whole process of the container shipping. They negotiate the contract between the buyer and the seller, support them from the finances, majority control the goods, and the provide documentation. Insurance organization, the most crucial players of this entire container shipping process are the insurance organization. They are the ones who help in the covering the risk which forms a part of the transportation. Freight forwarders, these freight forwarders are the mediators between the seller and the buyer. They are involved in the logistics activity and with other parties involved in the process which leads to the taken care of in process of the export or the import. Custom house agents, they are people who provide custom clearance of the goods from the custom authority. Shipping organization are the owners of the ships or the carrier which actually carries goods from the port to its destined place. Customs authority are body which provide custom clearance to the goods exported or imported. Presence of the two custom authority in an international trade is a must one from the country which is exporting the goods and one from the country which is receiving or importing the goods. Port authority are the somewhat similar to that of the custom authority. They provide clearance for goods to be loaded onto a ship. Port authority of the country which are exporting and clearance for the goods which are to enter the country. Port authority of the country which is receiving or importing. Intermodal transport provider. The intermodal transport provider are the body which facilitate the movement of the cargo containers from place of the production or warehouse to the port and also from the ports to the final destination of the cargoes of the goods. These involve rail and rail transport providers. A step guide to the international container shipping process is shown here. International container process, export shipping from the India. which is shown here. Need for contraction. The purpose of logistics is to move the right product to the right place at the right time with the right price. All the leading organizations in today's world are working towards efficiency of the supply chain while using the most feasible technology and the support. Improvement in performance is what organizations need the most. One such method or technology which organizations use in the contraction where they move their products in the containers. Contraction plays a vital role in the downstream process of the transportation in logistics as well as in the upstream process of the supply chain management. Contraction helps the shippers in the building the most adequate and efficient capacity of the containers in order to move heavy loads of the cargo from one place to another, considering all challenges such as stacking rules, crash factors, and orientation. For organizations which are involved in moving products of the varying weight, contraction is highly beneficial for them. Both heavy and lightweight products can be shipped together if the entire holding capacity of the container is utilized. This results in less use of the resources and also a limited number of containers can be used in order to move the same quantity of the cargo. Contraction is the main cog of the whole multinational transport system because it is easily adaptable in this form of the transport and also facilitate international commerce. It bridges the time gap between the two modes of the transport by quickly moving cargo from one mode to the another. From one mode to the another. The contraction has brought all the modes of transport together to common field with the bringing in the revolutionizing changes in the system of shipping moving cargoes across the country. At present, contraction has gained much importance wherein the government of India was supporting the helping it work efficiently by investing time in the construction of the road networks in the whole country. Moreover, contraction helps in the logistic management of the country such as Nepal, Bhutan and other states of the northern India, which are surrounded by the land from all sides apart from the coastal region, states where intermodal trade is carried out substantially. Carried out substantially in the containers. The benefits of the contraction. Contraction has played helps shipping organization in moving cargo efficiently from one place to the another. It protects goods from the damage and peripheral. It is because of the contraction that shipping organizations are able to move a large number of goods at a single point of the time by utilizing the overall capacity of the containers. Various advantages of the contraction are as follows. Standardization. One of the main advantages of the contraction is the standardization. Each container is given a unique identification number and a code which defines its size. ISO standard modes and equipment are used to handle standard transport products at the every stage of its movement. Flexibility. Another important movement provided by the contraction is that it is used to carry goods of the different shapes, sizes, quality, and the nature. Commodity as well as the manufactured goods can be easily moved. Even liquid products can be moved with easy by using containers. There are different kinds of the containers available for different types of the goods and the commodity. Anything from weight, coal, car, refrigerator to oil and gases can be moved by using the contraction. Cost. The cost of the transport is reduced by using the contraction as compared to the traditional means of the moving the commodity. Containers are 20 times less expensive. Economies of scale is achieved different terminals and modes due to the contraction, which is not case in the conventional system. Warehousing. The containers are in themselves moving warehouses of the product. Container act as a storage place for commodity where the products are safe and protected. There is no need for the extra packaging of the good since containers are the safest package. The holding capacity of containers on the ground, trains, and the ships are huge and highly advantageous for the organization. Security and safety. The products which are being carried out by the containers remain safe in the entire shipment. These containers are packed in such a way that nobody can identify the what kind of and how much goods are being carried out by it. Containers can only be opened at its destination and nowhere in between. This protects the goods from theft and the losses. Velocity, by implying contraction in operation, organizations can confidently produce the goods and commodity which can fully utilize the space of the containers. The ultimate of the underutilization of the shipping space, the ability of the containers to carry more loads enhances the process of the distribution of the goods. Types of the containers. The containers which carry cargo are a kind of the waterproof rectangular boxes which are used to move goods efficiently without damaging them. The types of the containers are usually classified in terms of the types of the cargo which it carries. These types are follow: general purpose container, special purpose container. General purpose container, these types of the container are the most common type which are used for shipping. They are made of the steel and one can easily find them stacked in the several seaports. There are different subtypes of the general purpose containers which are as follow. Dry containers, these types of containers are fully covered from the all sides and are like huge boxes standardized by the ISO, which carry goods in themselves. They are used for carrying dry products and usually come in sizes of the 10, 20 and 40 feet. Open type containers, these type of the containers come with a top which can be easily removed. Products of the various sizes in terms of the height can be easily shipped by using open top containers. Flat rack containers, these type the containers come with the detachable and collapsible side. This means that the sides of these containers can be folded or detached to make more space where different kinds of the good can be placed and the shipped. Closed ventilated container, these type of the containers are used for the purpose of protecting the goods from a high level of the humidity and moisture in the external environment. These containers are properly ventilated to let their air pass in order to keep the dry products from the getting stale. These containers are usually used for the dry food products. Specific purpose containers. Specific purpose containers are used for the purpose of carrying goods like food items, frozen products, or perishable commodity. The different types of the containers used for the specific purpose are the thermal containers. These type of the containers are also known as the reefers. These are insulated from the inside and outside to protect the commodity from the external environment and temperature. There are devices which control the temperature of the container. Insulated shipping container, these are kind of the thermal container. The only difference being that there are no devices used for controlling the temperature in these containers. The interior insulation is enough for maintaining an ambient temperature inside to protect the goods. Refrigerated shipping container, the temperature inside these type of the containers is regulated by the ice boxes or the liquefied gas. There is no need for the power supply from any external source to keep the temperature cold in order to protect the goods. Mechanically refrigerated containers, these type of the containers come with the temperature regulation and require an external supply of power to maintain the temperature. The temperature inside can be kept to a minimum requirement as to keep the perishable goods like fruits, vegetables, etc. in a good condition for a longer period of time. These are especially used for the perishable products only. Heated container, these type of the containers are used for goods which are required to be kept at the higher temperature to keep them safe. External power supply source is used to maintain the temperature of the container. Named cargo container, these containers are used to transport products such as cars, poultry, livestock, and other such specific commodity. Dry bulk container, these containers are used for the purpose of transporting products which don't require any kind of the external packaging such as grains and other dry food stuffs. Tank containers, these containers are typically used for storage and transport of the liquid products. They are made of the strong steel and anti-corrosive material to keep the liquid inside protected from any kind of the external wear and the tear. Disadvantage of the containers. There are always areas of the challenges which prevail in the every aspect of the commerce. Every concept had its own pro and con. We have already discussed the benefits of the using contraction as a system of the moving cargo. Now there are some points where the shipping industry face challenges in using contraction. They are as follows. Site constraints. Since containers are huge in size, bigger spaces are required for them to be stored. This means that the terminal storage should be enough to hold these containers. This is the reason why many of the intermodal terminals have been moved to the urban areas where there are more spaces available. Moreover, most of the ports are experiencing issues with the advancement of the containers because of the single post Panamax container requires at least 13 meters of the space. Capital intensive, a huge amount of the investment is required in order to handle the containers. Resources such as infrastructure and additional equipment such as cranes, railways, inland roads, and warehouses should be readily available in order to adapt the contraction. However, since automation is becoming an integral part of the organization today, the intensity of this capital investment is increasing. Number third, staking. The area of the terminal spaces differs and there arises the problem of the staking of the containers. The containers which are properly arranged on the ground are required to be rearranged when placing them on the container ship. This leads to the restaking and double staking of the containers. These rearrangement cannot be avoided and it incurs additional cost for the operators in the different terminals. Repositioning. It is necessary that all the containers carry with themselves 100% of the load. These are containers which move half empty while there are some which do not carry anything with them. There is a huge difference in the level of the production and consumption of the commodity on the global and front, which requires repositioning of the goods in the containers over long distances of the travel. Theft and losses. At times, it may happen that the unit of the container load can be opened by the force and the goods available in them can be carried away in trucks. These might also happen with high value goods and lead to the huge losses. Also, at times, some containers or overloaded ships may fall off into the sea before reaching its destination. Hence, many cases of the lost container are registered every year. Illicit trade. Contraction to some extent has given an advantage to the illegal traders in the world who trade illegal products such as drugs, weapons, etc. with the use of the containers. It is being assumed that the terrorism is also being facilitated, but there are no such recorded case for this. No matter how many loopholes there are in this concept, one can always work upon them and derive benefits by the resolving such issue. There will always be new challenges coming back, but to the overcome such barriers is what is needed to become a system more efficient and effective. Contraction has helped organization far more than the presence of such challenges.